So I'm kind of just chilling out here in the sun, and can't lie, I'm gonna change up the style of my videos for quite a while. I got 2 weeks of school, and during these 2 weeks, I wanna just improve my life, make money on TikTok. Since I have for the past like 3-5 months, I've made some money on TikTok. The most I've made in a month, by the way, is like $306. Now, keyword dollars, it's only like £270, something like that, maybe even less. But anyway, I want to make these videos because during these 2 weeks of holidays, I want to improve my speaking skills. That's one of the skills that I want to improve. So when I come back to school, I'll just have more fun. Because even though I personally see myself as like a funny, charismatic guy at school, I want to like improve my speaking skills even more. Like my speaking skills have already gotten quite good due to the fact that I've done YouTube in the past, but there's still like little details that sometimes that could be improved. For example, my storytelling. Sometimes I see people speaking like Hamza. You probably seen him on YouTube, Hamza Ahmed. He speaks really well. And for example, you've definitely seen this guy, Trevor Wallace. That guy is hilarious. I want to be kind of like him. And this kind of sounds like, I don't know if this sounds weird. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But having these like identities that you can shift into is so powerful. Like even my teacher was talking about this. I learned about this like, I don't know, 6, 12, maybe more months ago, about identity switching. It's so powerful. Imagine this. Imagine you just one day wake up as your role model. Let's say your role model is like, I don't know, some self-improvement person. Just, I can't think of one like straight in my mind. I don't know, you wake up like your role model, right? Think about like what are the actions that he would do, and how normal would it be for them. For example, imagine you woke up as a model. Like imagine you just woke up as a model, then you're naturally gonna think like, oh, I need to go to the photo shoot. It's not gonna feel weird, it's just gonna feel like you. Now imagine right now you wake up and you're not a model, you're just like a random guy just chilling in bed. Then if you wake up and now you gotta do a photo shoot, you're gonna feel pretty weird. Now that's the difference with identity. I was watching a video about self-image, and there was this guy talking about the fact that there are people, let's say, they literally would wake up in sweat. Like imagine you're just sleeping and you would just wake up drenched, sweaty, like sticky. Imagine in your bed sheets because you're under 100K a month. There's genuinely people out there who live like that. Now it might seem crazy to you, and even to me, because that's like a lot of money. But some people like spend 100,000 per month on editors. Like imagine like big podcasters like the Diary of a CEO, Chris Williamson, or just really successful people. Think about how much money they spend and how much money is needed to maintain that. And if they go below their maintenance, they're obviously gonna sweat. Now that's another identity thing, and this is the power with identity. You can literally like, if you somehow manage to put yourself up here, you're gonna make a lot more progress compared to you being the person that just kind of sees yourself as a normal guy, if that makes sense. Now this is like what I'm talking about. I want to improve my speaking skills. I kind of got lost in what I was talking about, and I do speak pretty well in the fact that I don't have filler words. I don't say or at least I try to avoid it. I try to just have a little pause. And whenever I'm thinking about something, I just look at, I literally did it right there. I was just looking aside, thinking about it, to just not just kind of talk and losing the power of my message, but just really like emphasizing in a few words. And that was another trick that I used right there, is slowing down to build emphasis. Because if I'm speaking like this, I'm speaking the same monotone tone, and you don't even listen to me because everything just blends into another. Everything just blended right there. You probably didn't even understand most of the things I said because I mumbled everything really, and this is another issue that I have. I mumble a lot. I don't know why. It's a bad thing, maybe a habit, not really. But anyway, again, going back to identity, something that I've done recently that is so powerful was I changed the layout of my room. So basically, I used to have like, whenever I walked in, my desk would be on kind of my left side. In front of me would be my bed, and I had like a queen size bed. I don't know why I had such a big bed, but I had a queen size bed. And every single time I walked into that room, I flip. I'm a little bit sick. I'm a little bit sick because I was like eating some bad food. So yeah. Anyway, so whenever I walked into my room, I noticed that I wanted to play this game, Minecraft, because back in my prime, I used to be so good at Minecraft. I got really good at Minecraft again. If you know 1.16 PvP in the server Hoplite. If any of you really know Boo, basically it's just this server on Minecraft where you PvP each other. There's legendary weapons like UHC, Hunger Games style thing, and it's so fun. But the only issue was that obviously it's like a great waste of time. And whenever I walked into my room, I would just see my computer like that, and I'll be like, oh, that was an immediate cue for me to play games. it's kind of like, imagine you see I don't know, you see a textbook, right? You would think about, oh, revision, but some people could look at a textbook and think like, oh, it's scary because exams are coming up soon or something like that. You know, that's a cue and a response that your brain connects to. For example, when you see a textbook, you get anxious or you get excited or you get bored. Like, you know, that's just a cue, that's just a connection. So I realized this and I was thinking like, damn, I need to change my environment. Now obviously I can't just fly somewhere else and change my entire like house where I live. Like that would be the ideal thing. You literally change your whole environment so therefore you can like play your new identity. Now obviously I can't do that, most people can't do that. So the next best the next best can I speak? The next best thing, there we go, kind of like a little tongue twister. Then, you know what, you get the point. The next best thing is to just change out your room layout so it's kind of like a new environment. So whenever I walk into my room, it's like reminding me. I literally noticed this one day. I walked into my room and I felt really weird. I was like, whoa. And then I realized because I changed my room, it almost created like a new, how would you describe it? Like it gave me a reminder towards a new identity that I want to build during these 2 weeks of holidays. Because because an issue that I had with every single half term that I've ever had in school, well, not every single one, but for the past like year, is that I've always like just fell back and started playing games, wasting time, gooning. Like I just done all of that, wasting time. And obviously I had goals, I wanted to achieve them, but I didn't because I just spent all my time playing games, wasting time, scrolling, maybe doing some work here and there. But yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I guess that's all I really have to say. I'm not just gonna yap on. These are gonna be like, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be like short little videos giving advice of what I've learned during the day and improving my speaking skills. This might not get many views, maybe it does. I don't really care. If you have any questions, by the way, you can just DM me on Instagram. This is something that I used to do. I used to get hella DMs, and I like the kind of like social side of it. But generally, it benefits you to ask me any questions about like identity, self-improvement, making money. The making money part, I'm still kind of working on it. I've probably made like $500 in my entire life through social media. But the first time I ever made money, like serious money, $300 in 1 month, I was hella hyped. But yeah, if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram, type in the comments. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. What the hell, I can't pause the video.